Welcome, beautiful gents. I am back with another video. Um, Voice is a little hoarse today. Drinking tea, as you can see. I'm screaming at some folks, but we're gonna get through it. We're gonna get through it today. Um, First and foremost, I would like to once again thank all the people who have supported me throughout these times, throughout the years. Um, these is some uh I forewarn you, a lot of this stuff is going to be triggering. I should have put I'm gonna create some type of trigger warning because this Charlie Kirk situation has gotten people flipping on both sides of the spectrum. I listen. When it comes to the comedy side, and there's nothing funny about getting shot. Um, when it comes to these podcasts, not podcasts or shows like Piers Morgan, the Piers Morgan show. There's nothing more comical than Piers Morgan because Piers Morgan is your average British clown who just wants to get ratings and just views, just no different from YouTube. No different from YouTube. But I've been reviewing, and we're gonna get to the Umar stuff. I'm gonna get to the Umar stuff in a minute. I'm gonna put the link up, and if anybody wants to have a conversation with me about what he said or what the thing that he posted, um, it's up to you. And we're gonna get to this other clown, this Umar queer in a minute. But meantime, in between time, this is a bit more important because this will determine a lot of folks, and again, this is very, very triggering. A lot of folks are banking on taking life into their own hands. In other words, the people from the right are planning. I'm not saying that they're going to do it. I just want y'all to be full aware. Whoever watches me, whoever doesn't watch me, whoever's going to watch this later, I want you to know a little later, possibly a little later on, if no matter where you live, if you live in a Republican state, I just want to let you know, just be careful. Just just be careful. Just be careful of where you live because a lot of these people, they're crazy. There's crazy, and it's no different from the Reagan era, no different from the Nixon era, it's no different from it's no different from the George Bush. It's no different from this clown that's in office right now. But I told you from the get before Donald Trump got in office, I warned you a long time ago that this was going to be a problem, and I wasn't going to vote for none of these cats, none of these. But your vote wasn't going to count any goddamn way. Your vote wasn't going to count anyway, and they were not going to allow Kamala Harris in office. They were not. Practice independence. Come together as an independent. Come together as one. Come together as a voting block. I asked you that specifically. I told you that specifically. And this is what you get. This is what you get when you proclaim that Donald Trump, his first term was his first term was going to be it was jibber and jabber, and he got you a stimulus check for $1,400 and $1,400 there. He spent, up to $8.5 trillion, a little bit less than what the other president did, or whatever. That's irrelevant. I said this was going to be much, much different. He was not going to support black people. He was not going to do that this time around. Because what happened January 6th was nothing compared to what will take place, is going to take place, has taken place. Will take place, was taking place, will take place, hasn't taken place yet. But they're already counting how many heads they are going to bury into the ground because of this Charlie Kirk person. This Charlie Kirk person who has supported Donald Trump. So I just want to make y'all aware, just be careful. That's all I want to know. But going into the story, going into the video, y'all, to prove my point, I don't know if you follow Steven Crowder. I've all these white wing supporters, they get on my freaking nerves. So there's this guy, just in case you don't know him, or in case you do, this is guy Steven Crowder. He is a long life supporter of Charlie Kirk. I guess they've been following each other for years, and after the so-called assassination of Charlie Kirk, this boy goes off. And when I say goes off, he's not going back, and he made a significant threat. Now, we don't know who he's talking about, but I'm just going to give you a precautionary. Most likely he's talking about the left, but that could mean anyone. Anyone. It could be your white neighbor. It could be you. It could be me. I'm not from the left. Excuse me. I'm not from the left. I'm an independent. But need it as it may, stay black. If you are black and you follow me, or you don't follow me, enemy or friend or foe or whoever, just in case. And I care for your black ass as well, enough to tell you, stay away from this. This is not our fight. This is not our fight. I'll show you what I mean. This is not our fight. We don't need to be in this type of a mess when you got people threatening, just straight threatening your life. Do it again. I might have to go back. Yeah, like I had to go back and look for. But like I said, you don't need to have anybody threaten your life or threaten our lives. And this is why we need to start coming together and voting as a independent bloc. But here's the problem that I'm having. You got too much separation in between the right, the left, and then you got your cult following. You got FBA. You got Adolfs. You got Hebrew Israelites. You got all these different fractions fighting one another. And I don't care to know anybody else. We need each other, period. for situations like this. We just do. And I'm afraid that the next person coming down the line, coming down the pike, is going to be even more nonsense. Because just a forethought. What were to happen if Donald Trump were to leave office, right? 3 years. 3 years of having to deal with the nonsense. What were to happen, supposedly, if there were another Republican winning the office? Hmm? And supposedly, he's had talks with Donald Trump throughout. I mean, throughout the years, and they're good friends. Buddies. It's going to be a mess. It is going to be a mess, and I can't stand these conservatives, these so-called black conservatives who just come up on here and thinking everything that these people do is going to be the beneficial for them, and you're making all types of excuses for these people. What makes you think that this is going to benefit you as a black man, a so-called black man in America? What makes you think it's going to benefit you? It's not. You can play along as much as you want. You can cower and kowtow and coon all you want. All he does is talk about the black community. He's talking the truth. So what does that mean? First of all, what does that mean in your situation? You're eating good. You're eating good. You're treating your kids are disciplined between underneath you and underneath your spouse or your girlfriend or whoever. And number two, why are you letting a white man infiltrate? Why are you letting a white woman infiltrate? That's just it. Why is a white man? Why is a bigot? Why is a white supremacist allowed to talk about black issues? That's key number one right there. That's key number one. Why is a bigot, a racist peckerwood who who downplays Martin Luther King? And I'm gonna get to Martin Luther King in some other video and some other different time. Why does he get to do this and it be okay in 2025? Why is it okay? We don't like to learn lessons. All we like to do is just feel good because we're more vocal now. We just want to feel fucking good. It's not cool. It is not cool for a white man to basically determine your fate. That just means you're weak. That just means you're doing the exact same, almost doing the exact same Martin Luther King did. But later on, when he turned his whole life around when it came to us and saying that he didn't know that he was taking his people from a burning building to another burning building, not realizing it until it was too late. Didn't want to take his people on down to Washington to march to get our reparations checked. And then he ended up getting assassinated not once but twice. And to people, before I play this clip, to people who think that Charlie Kirk was this big hero, it's crazy. To those who think that Charlie Kirk was this big hero and he was for the people, not just for his people, but for black people as well, and to think it's okay to run up at the mouth and say all these horrific things. We already heard what it is, but people are actually justifying these things. Justifying. And this is why we have people like the amazing Lucas and others who see these things as a grift. And I want to give a shout out to Amazing Lucas. We're going to have to talk later about Umar, bro. You are way wrong about Umar, but I'll get to that in another day. I want to give you your flowers, bro. When he came, he was on the Piers Morgan show. I reviewed it, and I have to say, Piers Morgan's an asshole. He's slick. He's slick with it, very calculating, very precise. And I want to have to say, if you did not review this, we're going to review it, but I just want to show you Steven Crowder and how a mess this could be if we're not careful. Because we don't know who's going to be ready to fire off at any minute. You know, the pew pewing. I guess that's the code of YouTube that people use nowadays. The pew pewing. If you don't know what pew pewing is, I look it up, I guess. But there's going to be some race soldiers out there. There's going to be some race soldiers out there, and they are waiting. They are willing and waiting for their fearless leader to say, pull the freaking trigger. And for those conservatives to say, you don't know what you're talking about. You know, this supporters of Donald Trump did all these wonderful things for us as a people. Prove. I want one thing that he's done for black people. For black people, for black people, for black people. I don't give a fuck about. I don't give a damn about the white, excuse me, the right. I don't care about the Asians. I don't care about these Mexicans. I don't care about any other race, any other ethnicity. I want to know what specifically Donald Trump has done for black people. You give me any other answer, I'm going to ignore it. You give me any other answer, I am going to ignore that bitch. Now, on to Steven Crowder's crazy ass. Let's see. Got you. I got you. This stupid thing.
Violence in defense of us and our own. And if you give me 1.5 minutes, I can make it extra crystal clear if we need to. What you're seeing with Charlie Kirk is what got through. Charlie changed my mind, where there were 12 full assaults, attempts at battery, and attempts on my life. And I know quite a few, and many I don't, of Charlie Kirk. I want to be clear. I want those on the left to speak freely and to be able to host their events with them to be deathly terrified of showing up and acting with the increasing violence as they have at our events. And that
I don't think you heard it. Just in case, I'll rewind it a little bit. So I want to get the gist of what he's talking about.
Uncensored. As you know, a lot of people believed you were advocating for a violent response. You've clarified that now. And people are saying, you know, is that a sincere clarification, or have you just calmed down?
It wasn't a clarification. It was a repeat.
Just from that alone, he started off from the gate. He was not playing. Even though this dude has no power, he has no power, but he does and can benefit from these right wingers, these white supremacists, and he's a white supremacist himself. I'm just going to label that out the bat. I'm just going to label them out the bat as a white supremacist. Was to threaten people and to talk down to George Floyd, even though George Floyd, criminal or not, a criminal is innocent until proven guilty. Isn't that our laws in this country? He didn't get a right to a trial or anything. but you got a right to put the knee on your neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, and it be okay to people like this. Let's continue.
And I stand by it. I am advocating for lawful, maybe let me clarify, ruthless violence in defense of us and our own. And if you give me 1.5 minutes, I can make it crystal clear if we need to. What you're seeing with Charlie Kirk is what got through. Charlie Kirk lived under a cloud just as I have. It's the reason that I stopped doing Change My Minds, where there were 12 felonious assaults, attempts at battery, and attempts on my life. And I know quite a few, and many I don't, of Charlie Kirk. I want the left to freely and to be able to host their events with minimal security as they do now for the rest of their lives. Just as surely, I want them to be deathly terrified of showing up and acting with the increasing violence as they have at our events. And that goes both ways. Hey, if there's a spat of right-wing violence that's spreading across this country, treat those people the same way that we treat ours. Won't find. Let me just address a couple of things here. What I think leads to violence. They'll try and blame it. They'll just give us a bunch of reasons. Let me be really clear. I'll say that this is an overreact. He said that it's untrue. He has been stating for days that the shooter was, in fact, not a leftist. He didn't know. That's provably untrue. He will create false equivalency between Charlie Kirk and the murder of the Hortmans in Minnesota. That's provably untrue. Finally, will place, as the left and the spineless right does, for all of this on Donald Trump, conservatives, rising figures, and the rhetoric for temperatures in this country. That is provably untrue. Donald Trump ran on law and order and won because of leftist violence. All of this. Let me finish.
And notice every 4 years, if the left wing wins, then it's hunting season for the right. If the right wins, it's hunting season for the left. But who gets caught in the crossfire? Who ends up getting shot? People like us. It's crazy. It is freaking crazy. You celebrated. I can't give that away. I'm not gonna give it away. I'm not gonna give it away yet.
With this, all of this is by design, so that the left and spineless right can make this conversation about conservatives responding to the cold-blooded terroristic assassination and gleeful celebration thereafter of a young man who did nothing more than sit down at a table and allow anyone to speak their opinion. And I know what it's like because I was in that spot. I started it, and Charlie cited it as inspiration.
Hey, Tanya, I forgot what chapter and verse that was in the Bible, but what does it say about a man and his tongue? What does it say about a man and his tongue? Can you tell me? Anybody tell me? What does it say about a man and the energy he spews out with his tongue? I forgot I can't think of it right now.
I could change one thing, and I do believe that I'm partially responsible for this. I failed people. I've had to do a lot of soul searching. When I did Change My Mind and started in 2016, the idea was, hey, calling the left on their bluff, civil dialogue with anyone to the tune of billions of plays and hundreds of hours. And it got increasingly violent. And what I didn't tell people, I told people out there, go do this on your own campus, have these conversations. I advocated for it. And Charlie took it to another level. He was unbelievable at it. What I didn't do, I didn't tell people about the threats because I didn't want copycats. I didn't tell them about terrorists from Yemen through Sweden showing up in East Grand Rapids. I didn't tell them about concrete milkshakes. I didn't tell them about my tires getting slashed, about people trying to firebomb my car. And maybe if I would have picked up the phone, maybe if I would have used this megaphone to tell people it's real life out there and the left wants you dead, maybe Charlie would have had a fighting chance. Maybe I could have done more. Right now, I'll tell you this. I see a lot of people out there, Piers. See a lot of people out there talking about picking up that microphone. And I hope people do, because the alternative is silence. But I want people to know that wherever that microphone is, and whoever thinks about picking it up, you are in the crosshairs. People say bring down the temperature. Okay, how about we bring down the temperature to doing something like, I don't know, sitting down at a table and allowing anyone with a thought or opinion to discuss it rationally? Would that bring down the temperature?
Well, let me see. Wills are soon, a man and his tongue are soon pardoned. I don't think that would be the one, but I'll take you at your word for it. But somebody, it was something else different. It was something else different. But I'm gonna do a little bit. I'm gonna do a little bit of I'm gonna do a little bit of the review with when it had Luke, Amazing Lucas in there. It had Amazing Lucas, and like I said, he did an incredible job. He did an awesome job. Again, my dear friend would love the link. She would love. You know what? I'm gonna give you your own personal link. You got to give me your not address, your email. You got to give me your email, and I'll give you your own personal link, and you can go ahead and just rapid fire, just go at it. Go at it away, because I know you're gonna come up with. I know you're gonna come up with some fires. I know you're gonna come up with the fires. I don't know what's going on with me this week. Go ahead, fire away.
Okay. Those two, that screwball, you're nuts, man. You're just like all these other MAGA dipsticks that just stick in their butt to massa, okay? You stick your butt to massa, everybody in the MAGA group is sucking to massa's stick, okay? Now, the guy didn't deserve to get shot. He had an opinion he didn't need to get shot for. But all you guys is crazy, okay? Y'all need to go to the insane asylum, be strapped down, and get some mental pill or something, because y'all need a mental pill all the way shoved down your freaking throat. Now, as for y'all, after all these maggot nuts, y'all, you need to go to the funny farm and pee on yourselves, okay? Because y'all is nuts. I have an opinion too. I'm the queen of Habit Nation. I say what I want on my show, and y'all can go rock. Now, as for the other district, that dude didn't look like he hadn't had sex in 6 months. That's what it is. Yeah, he had no sex in 6 months, and his little friend got dried up. That's all. He's just mad. He wants to have things his own way. That's just like some of these MAGA men want. They want to have things their own freaking way.
But
Now,
wait. What about the people that say, well, what about your bleeding heart for Charlie Kirk? What about his wife? What about the children? And whatchamacallit? It's like, why can't you condemn Charlie Kirk's killer? What about that?
well, listen, I could condemn Charlie Kirk's killer, but I like to say Charlie Kirk had a right to say what he want, whether you believed it or not. Okay. As for the killer, he'll meet his own. He'll meet his maker. Okay, that's all I got to say about that. And like I said, these massive numb nuts is just sick of the massive butt. Okay. Now, I just came up here to Rax and I heard all this. I got riled up. Okay. Now we're in Atlanta Sharks, and this is and look what they did to Jimmy Kimmel. They pulled off this show indefinitely. What are you dipsticks trying to do? This is supposed to be free speech. No, it's not no more. Free speech has gone out the window. If y'all say something bad about President Trump, it's like the mob. That's what he is. He's like a mafia boss. If you don't kiss his ring and do what he said, you're gonna get like that. So there, that's how that goes. Okay, we on Lock Nation. I gotta get out of here. And before I go, in the famous words of Captain Murdoch of Lethal Weapon, I'm getting too old for this shit. Thank you very much. See ya.
As usual, we got have the lovely Tanya spitting jewels as usual, spitting them jewels as usual. But she's right. I was like, wait, I thought we had freedom of speech in this country. It even Donald Trump said it himself. And we're gonna we're gonna return free speech, and we're gonna quiet all these reporters and newscasters and all this other type of shit. And the next thing you know, Jimmy Kimmel's gone. Not that I gave a shit about Jimmy Kimmel. I never watched Jimmy Kimmel. Never watched him before in my life. I'm more of an Arsenio Hall person, but damn, I guess freedom ain't free. I guess your constitutions ain't shit no more. So I guess so. KJ in the building. What's happening, bro? KJ in the building. T-Bone's in the T-Bone. Oh, did I play them? God dang it! This two special clips, two fire clips. I want to say first, shout out to the Amazing Lucas, like I said before, and then this guy, Destiny. I don't know if any of y'all know Destiny. Destiny's this white liberal guy with blue hair. I don't know who the guy is. I mean, I've seen him before. I've constantly seen him before, but this is crazy. We just gonna go straight into it. Screw it. We just gonna go straight into the shit. They disrespected my man Cornel West. I mean, just straight disrespected him. I just straight disrespected Cornel West. Now I like Cornel West. I'm gonna go as far as, I love this brother. It's just too bad he's not for being for president of the United States. He's just not. But overall, I would vote. If push came to shove, I would definitely vote for Kanye West. It's just that you can't have a white girlfriend. You just can't do that. You can't have a stop messing with white folks. You have been in there, man. If you would just stop, excuse me. If you would just stop clowning, stop trying to align yourselves with all these people, because these people want nothing to do with you at all. And we don't want nothing to do with them either. Not at all. Case in point. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now, if my shit would stop acting up, I can just put this shit on. Okay. Pause on pause.
With Charlie Kirk. Do you agree that this language, this relentless, in my view, woeful misuse, particularly of the word Nazi, towards Trump and his supporters, this is part of the problem?
Well, I think part of the deal, Brother Pierce, is organized greed and weaponized hatred and routinized indifference toward the vulnerable has come together in such a way that it has eroded the sources of character formation. And self-critical sensibilities of individuals and groups is more and more disappearing. So you end up with because hatred itself is promiscuous, just like greed. Just like indifference toward the suffering of others. It's promiscuous. It will lie with the left, right, center. It lies with Christians. It lies with Muslims. It lies with Jews. It lies with Buddhists. It lies with Hindus. And human beings were so wretched in the first place. If we don't undergo some kind of spiritual and moral cultivation, we end up falling back on greed and hatred and indifference. And I mean, the American empire at this moment is one in which the lethal combination of the hatred and the greed and the indifference generates very much the exchange that we just saw. You see, this brother right here says, well, all leftists want to see me dead. Well, I'm a leftist. I don't want to see you dead. I'm a Christian.
You called Trump's administration a neo-fascist movement, you lunatic. People have gone out
You're
of your
absolutely
way.
right.
You have gone out of your way.
Let me make the
to
case.
do everything
Let me
possible
make
to
the
cultivate
case.
this.
Let me make the case.
Oh, yeah,
Will you
just
allow
made
me to
your
speak,
case.
brother? Come
You
on,
just
man.
made your
Come on.
case.
No, you haven't made the case. If you think I've made the case, then you're not interested in dialogue.
You just said this brother over here said this.
You're very, very different, brother Charlie, man.
That's
You're
what
very
called him,
different than Charlie, though, man. Yes, Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I can
and
make
red
a
wing
case for
shooter
that
people
too.
like you got that man killed, sir.
No. There are such a thing as neo-fascists. But Pierce, why you have a brother on who's not gonna allow nobody to speak, man? We just wasting time. If all you're interested in is making your money, and you bring this brother on it, and nobody can say a word, and we can't even mourn Brother Charlie passing. I had dialogues with Brother Charlie. This brother's gonna say, "Oh, this Kim Kum."
Number one, your biggest mistake was calling him brother. Charlie Kirk is not our brother. Never will be. That was your biggest mistake. Your other mistake is coming on a show with nothing but suspected white supremacists and thinking that you're gonna get your shot. As I mean, no disrespect. You know, you're an elder. They're gonna disrespect you. Just start the name. This Paul Pierce, like I said, or Pierce Morgan. Pierce Morgan is a dick. Pierce Morgan is an asshole. He tried to bring Dr. Umar on the show. Why do you think Dr. Umar hasn't been on Pierce Morgan yet? Why do you think? Because he's number one, he's far too intelligent for this. Far too intelligent for rhetoric. Pierce Morgan was going to set him up from the gate, just like he set you up, just like he set others up who had differences of opinion. It's not going to go well. Let me continue.
By y'all and so forth. No. Charlie was made in the image of a loving and mighty God. I believe that. I say my prayers for Sister Erica and the kids, because this brother wants to trash my Christian sensibility. And look at him laughing now. It's a joke, man. Pierce, it's not worth it. The
is
dialogue
Charlie
is not
Kirk
worth it.
part of the neo-fascist movement?
Not with this brother.
Is he part of your neo-fascist movement?
Not with this brother.
Yeah.
When Charlie himself says that he is against Civil Rights Act, does that make him a proponent of Jim Crow? When he calls Martin Luther King Jr. an awful human being and a scumbag? I'm critical of that. I am critical of that. You're absolutely right, Brother Wilson. You're absolutely right. But if all you're going to do is be arrogant, you're arrogant just like the so-called leftists you're talking about. But Pierce, you making your money, brother. Go on and make your money, man.
It's not about making.
Not worth it.
Cornell,
this brother
it's
right
not about
here
making
is
money.
part of the problem. This other brother who has a deep.
Why do you keep calling them brother? I think our generation understands it. Like I said, no disrespect to Cornell West. They don't understand. We understand white people and their reactions. They're cold, hard calculate. When are y'all gonna get it? When the fuck are y'all gonna get it, man? I'm just gonna tell you, Umar has stated this for years. Hell, Professor, this is the reason why I rock with Professor Griff. This is the reason why. When I first heard his voice, this is the reason why Professor Griff is in his own domain. Because young people don't even want to freaking listen. And Cornel West is right now. This is a clear. Let me calm down. A clear-cut case. This is a clear-cut case on why you do not side with the left or the right. It does not matter. It doesn't freaking matter. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Oh my goodness. Whew. Please support. If you can, support the Cash App, support the Super Chat. Whatever you can dish out, I can take. This is the reason why right here. And this could happen. This could happen on any show. This could happen on any show. I forgot what show that was where Ice Cube was on there. He called homeboy some type of slur, and I mean, Ice Cube could come up here and he would get. I mean, he wouldn't even waste his time. Let me be clear. Ice Cube wouldn't even waste his freaking time, and I give Ice Cube hella credit. More credit than anything in the world, right? For even coming up with an idea for the right and the left, right? Either one with this package plan that he was the first one to create. He was the first one to create a package plan for Black people. And then months later, Donald Trump comes up with his own package plan. Kind of coincidence.
Connection to Charlie, he's willing to at least listen, but this brother's not willing to listen.
Cornell, can you sit down? I would like you to.
So they kick him off of the show, and it went hell from there. But before I do that, like I said, I'm gonna let people know. White people do not have your best interest. They want you to come up there yelling, "Massa, massa, massa." I was so sorry, was a master. I did not realize the importance of Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk was good. He was good. He was a good white man. A good white man for Black people. He saw the errors of our ways. He saw the errors. Not errors, but the errors of our ways. I'm so sorry he got you. Man, Black Pope, we need to get our stuff together. You don't know who it was. Got good white man. That was a good white man going away. That was a good white man. Charlie Cook was a good white man going away. I would say the one thing I want to say, I'm going to not say it. Due to my Christian ways, I couldn't tolerate being on shows like that. Couldn't tolerate it because I know my mouth. I know my mouth, and I know what the first thing I would say to Piers Morgan because he's a smooth operator. But let me go to a specific point, and Destiny shows up. Well, he's not wearing blue hair anymore. He's not wearing blue hair. What is he doing? All right.
Couldn't have been president for the second term. Every time he's in office, this happens. People joked about when Biden came in, it was so boring, nothing was going on. 7 out of 10 of the largest protests in American history have happened under Donald Trump. All of the recent political violence can grok about it has been conservative.
Who shot Charlie Kirk?
A guy from Utah who was raised in a Christian family, who was a 22-year-old
a guy described.
He wasn't he didn't have any trans bullets. Yeah, I'm sorry, you guys were wrong on all of that.
To be clear, the governor of Utah, Cox, has made it clear that their investigation has now established that he had been radicalized by a leftist ideology, which drove him to do this. That's just
I'm sorry. He radicalized in the 6 months that he did remote college.
I don't know when he was radicalized, but I do know
what you just said.
I do know the very reasonable sounding governor of Utah.
No, it's not true. No, he has made it
you may
he said
hear
there's an
this.
ongoing investigation.
You may want to hear it, but the reality to a
now all of a sudden he was radicalized. Again, not my issue.
Kirk. And let me just
that's
ask
just
you.
not true.
Let me just ask
no
you.
way
Well,
to deal with it. You're living in a delusional
governor of lying.
fantasy. Yeah.
That's your. If it took somebody with a leftist ideology who wanted to shut up Charlie Kirk, would you condemn that?
I won't condemn anything until the president of the United States can go on air and say, all of us need to calm down.
So you won't condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk?
And you notice something else. It's not one person's fault that does have the power. It's the person's fault who doesn't have the power, doesn't have the ability to say to the whole United States, calm down. The leader of the free world, doesn't have the ability, or it's not his responsibility per se. This is how Piers Morgan is swinging this. He wants to have you personally, if you're on that stage, to say, I want you to do what I what I told you to do, and that is condemn Charlie Kirk's killer. That is very, very slick.
Until Donald Trump says something.
I'm a YouTuber. Leftists and Democrats have been condemning and turning down the temperature, condemning violence, turning down the temperature for a decade. Donald Trump can't go on TV and say, all of us need to calm down.
Right.
Can you tell me why he cannot?
Why would you expect anybody, Destiny?
You can't answer that. Can you answer that question? Why can't Trump
you
go
answer
on TV
this
and say,
question?
all of us should be less violent.
Why do you
can't
think
Trump say that?
Why do you
is
think
your behavior contingent on Donald Trump?
Insane right now.
Why
do you
is
think?
your
Let me
behavior
ask a
contingent
question.
on Donald Trump?
Let me ask a question.
Because he's the president of the United States of America and the leader of the opposing political party.
Destiny. Let me
you have a huge audience of young men who listen.
What the hell does that have to do with? He has millions of followers. Donald Trump has millions, including he's responsible for international assailants. He is the leader of the free world, United States and abroad. What the hell is this cave woman talking about?
Everything you have to say. So when it doesn't matter. You have a huge audience. And because of the fact that you have a huge audience, you have a responsibility to not turn. No, it hasn't. It hasn't been broken. I actually care about the country and want to bring people together. You do the opposite. You represent the worst of us, Destiny. You're embarrassing.
You should tell Donald.
All right, let me ask Destiny a question.
Watch how easy this is.
Don't all shout at once, please.
If Donald Trump would have come out and said, hey, we should all be less violent, I have no problem saying
I have one question for you, Destiny.
Why can't conservatives do that? Why can't conservatives do that?
Destiny, I have a question for you. Why do you think in your campaign for everyone to dial down the temperature, why do you think that mocking the grieving widow of Charlie Kirk when she posts an image of her at the coffin?
Notice this is not about Charlie Kirk, and numerous people have said this, and I do believe it. You go from what happened to Charlie Kirk to Charlie Kirk's wife and kids. Now, respectfully, the wife and kids will be out of this. I don't know. I do not know them. Don't really want to know them, but they're out of it. But it's kind of slick. Again, it's slick of him to actually pivot from one perspective to another perspective that's that's kind of irrelevant. But I get if you want to the gist of it, if you want to talk about it a little later on, because we're supposed to be talking about not just his death, but when he lived, not just how he died, how he lived his life. Some people come in and spew how much of a white supremacist that he was, etc., etc. You sprung the trap. and people fall for the same BS over and over and over and over again.
Side. Why do you think that constitutes turning down the temperature?
You can't turn down the temperature on your own. The president of the United States is not able.
You're mocking his widow. You're mocking his widow.
We've had multiple political assassinations over the past year. What do you mean it's turning up the temperature?
Why did you mock his widow?
Online?
Why did you mock his widow?
Because she's being used as a political weapon right now for conservatives to continue. What do you mean, wow? She's literally doing
her husband just got murdered
on email. Yeah, and she's using it to drive up recruitment for
and you can't even condemn the murder. You won't condemn it.
Can't even tell his side.
You're so deranged about Trump that you cannot condemn the murder because you're waiting for Donald Trump to say something. All right, let me bring in Jack. Let me bring in Jack Posobiec. I got to say,
there's still no answer to that question, Piers. You can't say
which question.
Why can't Donald Trump simply go on TV and say, we all need to turn it down, like Biden could, like Obama could, like the Clintons could, like Kamala could. Why not?
Why can't you condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk?
It's unbelievable. I'm not the president of the United States.
See how he dodges questions? He's a clown. Piers Morgan is a straight up clown.
Condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Unbelievable to me.
Why can't you condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk?
Because it wasn't my side that caused it. It should
yes,
be the
it
one
was.
That is driving up
it actually was your side that caused it. It was your side.
This guy was raised in a white Christian
household. He was a radicalized
leftist
ideology.
He wasn't radicalized by leftism at all. You have no proof of that whatsoever.
That's what the investigators are saying.
Was a conservative, just like the people that firebombed Shapiro's house was a conservative, just like all the J6ers were conservatives, just like the Proud Boys were conservatives. Every single one of these people. Oh, it's Jack Posobiec. What, the author of Unhuman? Another person that Charlie's part of a good one, dude.
Well, I'll give you one last chance, Destiny, to condemn the murder of Charlie.
Are acting like an
Why can't I hear Donald Trump condemn violence in this
country? All right, you won't condemn it. Okay, we've all heard.
That's insane.
We've all heard you repeatedly refuse to condemn it.
We've heard Donald Trump refuse to condemn it too. But for some reason, the leftists on YouTube are a bigger deal. Unbelievable.
Yeah. What's incredible is you don't have the basic humanity to condemn it. You'd rather taunt his widow. I find that sickening. Jack Posobiec.
I find it sickening that when people are getting killed in the country, the president of the United States on Fox and Friends, when they're begging him, what do you say to your followers that want revenge? He says, I don't know. All the elections are rigged. It's the radical Democrats. That's insane to me. And then the fixation is, well, who on Twitter and YouTube isn't condemning the violence?
All right, Jack Posobiec.
You have a great example here of the type of cancer I'm talking about, where when you present direct information, they refuse, they obfuscate, they refute. They say it's not true. They lie. You could see from the bullet casings. You could see from postings. You could see from everything out there that it's very clear what happened here. This is the same people who supported President Trump almost getting assassinated twice last year. Corey Capatore being assassinated
by conservatives
in a situation. Again, see, just lies. That's all they do. They talk over. They don't even let you give a chance to speak. And something needs to be done, Piers. Something absolutely needs to be done. This ideology should be shamed, humiliated, driven from the public discourse. I mean, you've got people who have completely dissociated with humanity because all they care about are clicks and YouTube streams and likes. Go to the casket. Go to the gravesite. Go talk to the widow.
I only have one thing to say about some of these people. It's amazing. It's amazing how much. It's just amazing how much victims these people are. It's amazing, but the memes from George Floyd were acceptable, right? The memes for George Floyd were acceptable. The memes for Breonna Taylor were acceptable, right? How amazing. But these people, boy, it triggered me to an extent. This conversation right here, it triggered me to an extent. Not that I mean, we're talking about whites attacking whites, but this kind of triggered me to an extent because what they did to the brother that left Kanye West, Cornell West, what they did to the brother, they would do the exact same thing to you. If you were this figure, if you were a political figure or a famous YouTuber, they would do the exact same thing to you because of how much power they will. Power does matter. Power matters. And in this situation and in other situations, power, wealth, and influence matters. It matters. I don't care how you trick. I don't care how you get triggered by it. I don't care how you slice it. When you have power, wealth, and influence, they have a right to shame whoever they want to. Right, left, or indifferent. Right, left, or independent, I should say. Right, left, or independent. They have a right under the word power to shame anyone in the United States of America. Who has power? Certainly not us. Certainly not black folks. Because your voice, when it comes to this shit, is null and void. It's not what you say, it's what you do. It's not just being having a mouthpiece. It's what you do. And you had years and years and years to get your shit together. This has gotten much, much worse. It's gotten worse, in my opinion.
I don't even know how to discuss this with someone who's completely lost all touch with reality.
Yeah, I mean, Anna.
What's Jack's answer to why can't the president say we should all be less violent?
Right. Because you can't even condemn the cold-blooded execution of Charlie
Donald Trump
Kirk.
Turns on Destiny.
I don't think you're in the
YouTube,
position to
says,
demand anything from anybody
on YouTube. That's how I'm going to take my.
You're
my
not in any
pointers,
position to condemn anybody for anything. You won't condemn a cold-blooded murder. He's the president
of the United States. He's the president of the United States. No one here can answer that question.
Basic humanity says the murder was horrific.
Can't say
why can't you say
it? To be less violent.
Why can't
Democrats
you say
have been
it,
saying
Destiny?
for over a decade.
To say the murder was horrific and
why
unacceptable.
can't Donald Trump say it?
You can't do
why
it,
did someone
can you?
hear any words for Donald Trump?
All right, Anarchist Barron.
Donald Trump. Nothing exactly.
Anarchist Barron. To me, this is what I'm talking about. That I think there is an element of the left, the hard woke left, that have completely.
I just have a question. Why do they keep blaming the left? That's just my question. Anybody can answer. Why do they constantly blame them? How do they know that this was the left doing it? There's no evidence of that. There's no proof. There's no evidence of that. But we got proof all day, every day. When it comes to black folks, we get killed on a whim. But people want to sweep it under the rug and then want to bring in some new evidence that he died from a methane or whatever they call that shit nowadays. It's quite disgusting. George Floyd got killed by an officer who stood on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. No, he died of a drug overdose.
Lost their minds. If you are not able to just outright simply condemn the murder of Charlie Kirk, and if you cannot stop yourself from mocking his grieving widow, you are sick, as I've just seen from Destiny.
The sick thing is weaponizing a widow's grief to try to do recruitment for your political party. That's probably one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. She's showing up in emails for recruitment drives for TPUSA.
Destiny? What did you think the assassination of a political figure would do? What did you think the outcome was going to be? What did you think the outcome was? And by the way,
are you asking me for the pragmatic political outcome, or are you asking me for?
Hey, how about take it easy on the Adderall? Take it easy on the Adderall. And let me answer the question that Pierce asked me.
You must have been really bullied today.
My behavior is not reliant on how anyone else behaves. Every morning I wake up and I make decisions about how I choose to react or respond to things. I don't wake up in the morning, check what Donald Trump has to say, and then base my own personal behavior.
All of a sudden, it's all how we behave now. Oh, whenever we get murdered, no, it's how you behave.
Here on his behavior, I agree with you in that it would be very helpful to have the leader of this country want to turn the temperature down. And he hasn't done that. I agree with you on that. But that doesn't change the way I choose to respond to what's going on. The idea of mocking a woman who is now a widow with 2 young children, who witnessed her husband get shot in the neck and bleed out to death. How could you mock that? What is wrong with you? I just don't understand it. That's it. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. You have so much hatred in your heart.
It's going to weaponize some against the party. Of course, people have a right to fight again. I think that she has every right to grieve and whatever.
That's a real good point. Real good point. We're supposed to be grieving, not recruiting. We're supposed to be grieving, not recruiting. Am I wrong about that?
Obligation to mock it. It's insane.
Let me understand. Let me understand your argument. So since others are using her grief to politically recruit, you think that it's okay to mock her specifically?
Since others are using her grief, she's on TV where she talked about good versus evil. She's the one showing up in TPUSA ads to 1 or 2 days after.
If someone assassinated my husband, I would not be able to have the level of composure she had during that speech. I would be out for blood. I understand why she's angry and why she... Okay, you need to understand what being a human is, what it's like to actually lose someone that you love, that you chose to spend your life with, that you chose to raise children with.
Being human? That's rich. That is rich coming from this woman. That is very, very rich. Very rich.
A person who was violently and viciously assassinated like that. This is why I've moved away.
And when something identifying as you got bullied online. It's so funny. It's so funny that you just said that you don't think about how other people act to define your behavior. Your entire political ideology now is somehow defined by the people that were mean to you on Twitter.
No,
if somebody cares about somebody who's grieving,
I understood what the flaws on the left happen to be. The weakness in their arguments. No, it's not about the way I get treated. I get treated like crap from both sides of the political aisle.
Mass recruitment for our political party while everyone over here is calling for civil war. It's unhinged. When you've got people like Matt Walsh of the Daily Wire,
we're talking to a guy who said he'd be okay with his own parents getting killed if they went to that Trump rally where that assassination attempt
and we're talking to a woman who went on and did the whole conservative media outlet with Tucker Carlson and Glenn Beck and had nothing bad to say whatsoever. I know where your bread is buttered. I know where you're making your money from.
And it was great. I had awesome conversations. I don't regret it at all.
That's great.
I also had a conversation with Jack Posobiec on her take. It was awesome. That's what democracy is about. Having an exchange of ideas.
All right, let me bring in.
I don't agree with him on everything, but at least we can have dialogue.
Anna, you're completely right, by the way.
Yeah, white folks have an excuse for everything. No, apologize. You need to apologize because you're a mean-spirited person. Just confess. We just want you to confess. Confess. Just confess. Until this dude comes along. And you ain't got to worry about. Let me just go to the clip. Shouts out.
And independence.
Who's this broad on this? Yeah, let's get this little broad up out of here.
Being bad for his family. It's bad for America. And I also feel for everybody that was traumatized, that was there that day, that had to see that. Now, with that being said, of course, I didn't agree with basically anything that.
Charlie Kirk versus Bullet. Can one bullet to the neck outsmart one conservative? Well, that was a short watch. Number 2 is a mocked up promotion poster called Kirk and Twerk at Neck of the Woods and hashtagged both Charlie.
Wow. Wow. Wow, Lou. Wow.
Charlie Kirk and his widow.
Wow.
And the third was an image of a sunrise titled God Works in Mysterious Ways with the hashtag Charlie Kirk killing and praying hands as an emoji. And you're laughing as I...
God works in mysterious ways.
Why do you find this funny?
Well, let me just say that I actually am a big advocate for dark humor. And I happen to gotten a bit of a taste of that over the last, I don't know, maybe decade or so when it came to the right and their memes of George Floyd, happy birthday being sober for 5 years. When they came to their memes of Breonna Taylor, when it came to their memes of Trayvon Martin, the Trayvon challenge, right? When it came to their memes of Tamir Rice. So I don't know what the issue is. I think I'm engaging in the freedom of speech that the right has been advocating for these last 10 years and mocking and making light of something that if he had spent a modicum of his time focusing on the white youth, that perhaps he would still be with us today.
Are you pleased you're dead?
No, absolutely not.
So how did you feel about it?
I don't think.
How did you feel about his murder?
How do I feel about murder?
Yeah.
I think a quote by author Intimate of American World, and that's something that Charlie Kirk saw. No, I don't think as far as happiness is an emotion that which have caused harm and death and turmoil to other group of people such as Charlie Kirk, whether it's black people, trans.
I heard, just to be clear, you said that the quotes in their death, but you lied that you, when you tell me, I presume from that quote, you're
when someone who lives their life in evil and wickedness, according to the scripture, the power of life and death is in your tongue, and the hate and the violence.
The power of life and death is in your tongue. The power of life and death is in your tongue.
On the venom that he spewed, I don't know what to tell you. As the scripture says, as he professed, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Mm-hmm. I think his focus should have been on a community that, clearly is in problem. That I find it interesting that there's more scrutiny on people who may make memes that they've done of George Floyd and other black victims than on the white male youth that did this tragedy, as some would call it.
Why would you be offended about the memes to people like George Floyd, which I found contemptible at the time, if they're the same ones that you're talking about? Why would you profess to be offended by those if you're quite happy to do the same kind of thing yourself?
I think the point that I'm making by the memes that I'm putting out, which clearly has caused outrage and triggering, I find it a bit hypocritical that the people for years who said fuck your feelings are now overwhelmed with feelings at the moment. But the point that I was making was to point out the hypocrisy that the right has.
Wow. Fuck your feelings. Where did I not hear that before?
On a variety and myriad of issues, as we just saw with Pam Bondi on the freedom of speech. I think the issue is that they have scapegoated people like Pam Bondi for what is the crime of Donald Trump. The same thing they did with Anthony Fauci. We saw this when it came to the Second Amendment. They banned bump stock ban. They had a bump stock ban under Donald Trump while they were fear mongering about Biden take away your guns. But as we saw, there was no outrage. There was no protest, and we come to find out that it was unconstitutional. So I think this hypocrisy is ubiquitous within the right, and I think my memes expose that hypocrisy.
And what about your own personal humanity? I mean, hashtagging his widow in a mocked-up promotion poster of Kirk and.
Why does it always have to be about the widow? What is it? Why are we putting it that? That is so white of him to do that.
Work at Neck of the Woods. How do you justify targeting? Oh, well, hang on. How do you justify targeting his widow?
I think that's a bit disingenuous to use such hyperbolic language as targeting. I think it's more of a strategic plan of attack to get the message out to more people. When we saw Erica Kirk, she had a moment to speak for unity within the country, left and right, and she chose to fundraise. She then chose to use the scripture and talk, very nicely of her, past husband. And I understand that. But by that same token, there are people who were absolutely harmed by the rhetoric that Charlie Kirk put out. And that rhetoric actually codified in many cases in many states. So I think it's abhorrent and actually perverse to expect people who are harmed by his rhetoric, harmed by someone who had anti-Black, anyone who wasn't in Christian in his perspective. I think it's perverse to try and people try and make it seem that they're the bad guys when they're not.
Funny, I can look at what you've done, and I can see some who is abhorrent and despicable and actually evil. Actually, the stuff when you target someone's widow as she grieves.
Once again, I disagree with
children. No, I'm talking about me. I'm talking about me personally. My view of what you've done. I don't care about motivation in terms of other people inappropriate me. Many I may well agree with you about, but that doesn't make me then go to it myself or worse, because that makes me even more inhuman and abhorrent. And by your definition,
I disagree. I think
I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you. I'll let you have your say.
They have shown.
I'll let you. I'm using your own justification to tell you what I think of you and what you've done. Right? That's my free speech at work. Let me bring in Gillian. I mean, Gillian, look. I saw Brian there nodding to some of what he was hearing there, not all, to be clear, but nodding to some of it about the hypocrisy which Lucas claims he is exposing with this stuff. What is your view of what he's said? Just how the news is told, but what's left out, which concerns me. And when a friend in the business recommended I try ground news, I could go. Quite honestly, I was impressed. It does something brilliant, which most news platforms are afraid to do. It's an app and a website that lines up coverage of the same story from across the spectrum, left, right, international, and lays it all out side by side. That kind of transparency is increasingly rare and is vital. Ground news helps you to dig in and find the facts by showing you each outlet, what their biases, and which stories are being read. Has an especial feeling blind
or not is a fact from the 1860 census. And
it
the point
literally
is not to downplay slavery.
It is actually a bastardization of actual history. What you cited was inaccurate. You can actually look it up. I don't know if you did. I doubt you do your due diligence. You clearly did not, because in that study that you're citing, in the study that I'm discussing it right now, in the study that you're citing, it takes into account not only the slaves, it takes into account the northern states and the southern states. So to try and implement or to say this all lives matter when it comes to slavery, which is abhorrent and in extreme contradiction to American history, especially in this country as chattel slavery as Black Americans, is abhorrent and perverse, especially you, who is the mother of a Black child, who she purchased.
Right.
Other people
is my
died.
turn to talk?
You purchased.
Is it
by all means?
How did I? Okay, well, I'm not quite sure what you mean by purchase. She's adopted, and it is illegal
to pay,
purchase a child.
Did you pay to get that child?
No, I paid the adoption agency.
Oh, he went there. He went purchased. He went there on that ass. Meaning this is some slavery shit. Oh, and just to let people know, I am not in an approval of white folks adopting black children, but then again, it's our fault because we let them do that shit.
It was absolutely free.
Study.
It was absolutely.
I paid the adoption agency like you.
So then there was a process of
child.
I believe that other people adopt.
Adoption agency. Okay, you're wrong, and that's defamation.
I'm literally right as you're saying that you pay to an adoption agency.
You're literally wrong, and it's this.
I'm literally correct.
You know what you are. You know what you are,
I
Lucas.
think what's hateful is you downplaying
hang on, let me jump in
That's
here.
what I think is
Let me
hateful.
jump in here, Lucas. Let me jump in here, Lucas.
That's
it seems to
literally
me,
what you did.
Seems to me, Lucas, you've decided to be just as offensive as you want to be. You're now attacking people who adopt.
And notice that every time that, I mean, of course, everybody has their opinion, right? Every time you come out with your opinion, it's okay if white folks were to come out with their opinion. It's okay. It's okay. But when it's black versus white, my opinion don't matter. You like to challenge me. In other words, you want to challenge my people in their immoral stability of becoming a human being, which I find that so despicable that you would just make fun of this woman for adopting a black child. You goddamn right. You out of pocket with that. But let me not tell you that.
Children, which is one of the most selfless things that any human being could do. Actually,
this is literally what the right did to Dave Rubin, is it not?
Fine, but what you're doing is just so that's why I'm doing it, to expose all the hypocrisy. Jillian is right. Jillian is right.
What
that
I'm
actually
trying to
you
do
have descended.
is create a better.
The way you've just gone after Jillian.
Unify.
You know what, Lucas?
The only way we can unify people
Stop
is
talking.
where people. She downplayed slavery, which I think it's contradictory that I'm saying.
Oh, I heard your words.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt. You marry a white man marries a black woman. It's okay for a couple of years until you have an argument one day and he utters the N word. What you do then? You can't divorce him. You can't divorce him. You're stuck. You're stuck with that relationship until he divorces you. This is a lesson learned.
Let me bring in Riley. Riley. Let me bring in Riley again.
Sure, buddy.
Riley, you've been waiting patiently.
Great rebuttal, Jillian.
Okay, can you please let the others speak, please? Okay.
I wasn't actually allowed to talk, Lucas, but I'm more than happy actually to have.
Anyway, what we got here? I don't want to hear these knuckleheads just speak their BS and blah 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 blah. But then again, I wanna, let's swing this way, because this was absolutely firing. I mean, this was fire, almost comical, minus the murder of Charlie Kirk, how he got murdered, not assassinated. Assassinations, you're not a political figure like that. Martin Luther King was a political figure. He was not only a public figure, but a political figure. That's why they had statues all across the motherfucker. That's why he has his name on street signs, street posts. A white supremacist would never have that ability. Oh, we took that shit down a long time ago. And rightfully so. Shouts out. Shouts out to Amazing Lucas for holding it down. Shouts out to that brother, Amazing Lucas, for holding it down. I guess we can go back to this. I just want to show, and of course, you have these freaking conservatives, which I cannot stand. These freaking conservatives over the shit that they spew. It's just like, and I'm talking about black conservatives. You are a disgrace. You really are. And I'm starting to learn now, as life goes on for me, what liberals and conservatives and the right and the left and who should we be supporting and how we should be supporting. Pretty soon I'm gonna come out with a live stream, and hopefully you support this. Jasmine Crockett should be President of the United States. Now, I'm not saying that she's gonna be. I'm not saying that she's gonna be. She's not in that realm right now because she's not even a senator. I'm just saying she is qualified for being the President of the United States, and I'm gonna come out with that very, very soon. Very, very, very soon. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel.
You on my podcast.
That's because anything comes out your mouth is backed.
We can just discuss all of it.
All right. Let me bring.
Saying, and you can just see in the previous debate, you saw two grown men, Democrat men, screaming, yelling on your program at two women. Riley Gaines is one of the brightest, smartest, youngest minds fighting for what she believes in, and we want to.
Oh boy, we went from Charlie Kirk's death to these so-called conservative white women. Here we go.
Encourage that, not discourage it. I don't want to discourage anyone out them from speaking out by getting yelled out. Yes, survivor. All I want as a rape victim is to ensure that men aren't in my bathroom or Riley's bathroom or in the shower next to us. That is dangerous and it's uncalled for. But to see those men on your program yelling at the women who are just.
Good point, Barbie. Welcome to the show. Good freaking point. Since Donald Trump didn't have to be a senator, he Mr. Apprentice himself, he didn't have to do it. Reagan was governor but Obama didn't have to do it. He automatically went from senator to a state race in a matter of what was it, 4 years? In a matter of 4 years. They chose him before they knew him, but let's continue.
Talking freely, talking in a sane and normal manner, trying to have a colloquy, trying to have a national conversation, and they're being screamed at. That's how we got here. And until the left and until the Democrat Party acknowledges their role in this, it's not going to get better. And I have to tell you, it's terrifying right now to be a conservative. I am carrying my 6-hour P365 everywhere I go. I have armed guards everywhere I go. I can't even go to the grocery store alone anymore. I can't even walk my dog without a gun. Because I have so many on the left, Democrats, a lot of transgenders who are emailing, calling, trying to show up at my office, threatening to kill me, my children, my family, my elderly, and I'm not going to live in fear. I'm going to figuratively fight back, figuratively push back, and protect my safety. Today, I'm going to lead a floor debate against Ilhan Omar. Lucas was asking about a prominent Democrat celebrating the murder of Charlie Kirk. They're everywhere. But let's start with Ilhan Omar, who's right down the hall from me right now. I'm in Congress at the Capitol, who celebrated the murder and political assassination of Charlie Kirk by saying that people who were mourning his death were full of shit, excuse my language, but no, and is posting content celebrating or calling Charlie Kirk a terrorist. I can't even with these people because they just won't tell the truth. And like, I love having a debate. I love coming on and having a conversation, even when we disagree, Pierce, but there's never anything ill or negative or like, I don't want to bring harm on anybody, but we have to tell the truth. And how do you unite with people who refuse to tell the truth, who continue to lie? I don't know how you continue to have a conversation with these people.
Notice they all say the same thing. They're liars. They all lie. They lie. They lie. They lie. They lie. They lie. They all say the same thing. But again, this is not our fight. We must bring might, but this is not our fight. This is not our fight. So I'm gonna let them go ahead, let these white people mourn, and let them shower gifts with joy, let them talk their shit or whatever. This is not a part of this is not a part of us at all. I just wish they would stop meddling in our motherfucking business. This is not we are the world. We are the children. And that is correct. I mean, where is it? Where is all this? Where's the emails? Where's the proof? Where's all this happening? Where's the emails? Where are the facts? We need facts. We don't need feelings. Fuck your feelings. Where are the facts? Let's get deep.
We have to shun them.
Do you have to be careful? You know, I watched Pam Bondi trying to explain that hate speech is something that the Attorney General believed should be pursued with the full force of the law. I recoiled from that, as did many on the right, because actually the First Amendment protects hate speech. It doesn't protect incitement to violence or acts of violence, but you can say hateful things and be protected under the First Amendment. And it was staggering to hear an Attorney General who didn't seem to realize. Some say because you have a hotline, you've encouraged people to call in. And, you know, if people are saying bad things about Charlie Kirk and so on, you know, there will be people on the left going, well, this is just complete hypocrisy, because you really what you're operating. This is a form of the very cancel culture that you and others on the right have always professed to hate. What do you say to that?
Well, this is a cancel culture, and I have voted and I've supported legislation that protects the freedom of speech, that protects the First Amendment. You know, I've been out there on the Epstein files too, protecting survivors, by the way. There are Republicans out there who are very vocal, like myself. But free speech has consequences. And I'll quote Ilhan Omar, who tweeted that you have the right to say anything you want. You have the right to those opinions, but there are consequences. And if you are around children.
That sounds like a threat.
My particular focus is on the educational system, those that are teaching our kids or in the classroom, and those who are making healthcare decisions for people. I don't want the bias and those who are celebrating the murder of a political class, a political side.
That's all word salad. Where's the evidence? You didn't show now one damn proof about any and everything that the right or the left has done. Where's your proof? We're done with the word salad shit. Come out with the proof.
They don't agree with. They should not be making medical decisions, and they should not be indoctrinating our kids. Look at Tyler Robinson, 2-year-old who has admittedly.
Question. You know why I'm watching this devil? Because it's the devil you learn from. It's the devil you learn from. It's the one thing that the mistake that you don't make versus the mistake that you're going to get into. And I'm telling you not to get into that mistake and to learn the mistake learn from this devil that not to make that mistake. Does that make any sense? In other words, don't fall for the bullshit. Do not fall for the banana in the tailpipe. Don't fall for it. They say it's your fault. Where are the facts? Where the proof? Where the facts at? The bullet cases were right there. It didn't come from my gun. But you advocated. Just because I advocated for it doesn't mean I did it. Where's the facts? Where the proof at? Where the proof? We want the proof. Right here. Lip, bit more grip, less lip. Where the proof?
Murdered Charlie Kirk because he didn't like his opinions and thought he was full of hate. they're condoning this. They're endorsing this. He was radicalized. We believe at school and in the education system, we can't allow idea what their politics were. And now kids are forced to say, what are your, can you define gender? It's inspired and radicalized, and this can't be happening. This is how we got here. And we have to admit that this is the truth and that we're going to work together to end it. And they don't want to. They don't want to. And I don't know what else to do. I want to defund the schools that allow teachers that celebrate murder to stay there and stay employed. I want to defund them. And I want to shame these teachers out of existence. I don't want them anywhere near my kids. No, or yours.
Nancy Mace, thank you very much indeed for joining me.
Thank you.
Let's go back to the panel. Brian Shapiro, did any thought?
Well, first of all, ironic that Nancy Mace is talking about telling the truth, yet she's the person who blamed the shooter in the Charlie Kirk murder as a transgender. I find that very ironic. She also called me a Democrat. I'm not a Democrat. I'm a registered independent that is anti-Donald Trump. So I want to be very clear on that as well. Listen, now she mentioned Ilhan Omar. If that's true about Ilhan Omar and she made those statements, I totally disavow that. But I don't think anybody could name me 3 Democrats that are celebrating Charlie Kirk's death that are elected officials. Number 2, every Democrat out there is saying this is wrong for the most part, political violence, we should never celebrate it. And all the right is doing is blaming it on the radical left, including Donald Trump. Nancy Mace wants to say to bring people together. Donald Trump has divided us by blaming the radical left for what took place here.
But you would be blaming. Okay, but Brian, be honest. The way the investigators said publicly, as they have, as has the governor of Utah, that all the evidence pointed to this person being radicalized by the far right. You would not hesitate to say this was a far right assassination, and you would go on a massive rant about it. So there's a double standard there, right?
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. I don't do that, Pierce. You can look at my social media. No, you're wrong. Here's what I do. I call out political violence on both sides. If you recall, Pierce,
that wasn't my point. No, hang on. I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if he was a radical right, if he'd been radicalized by the right, I don't think you would be saying people shouldn't be talking about the radicalization.
The reason why, Pierce, I ever bring up the radical right is because the right never takes responsibility, literally, for anything.
But nor is the left.
They blamed Donald Trump.
Nor is the left.
Listen,
the left having said for years, now doing the exact thing. I saw
Pierce on this issue. It doesn't matter whether it comes from the right or the left. It's wrong. We need to call out political violence on both sides of the aisle.
But we should also be unafraid
but
Brian, you're missing my point. We should also be unafraid to call out radicalization where we see it as a primary motivation for these assassinations.
So do you think this shooter was a radical leftist?
I think this person was, as the investigators are saying,
that he used.
I'll come to you in a moment, Lucas. As the investigators are saying, and as the governor is saying, the governor has hit a very, in my view, sensible tone throughout all this. As they've all been saying, all the evidence is pointing to a young man who was radicalized to the left.
Okay, so let me respond to that real quickly. So first of all, even if that is true, I totally agree with what Megyn Kelly said. If you're somebody who wants to kill somebody because you disagree with their beliefs, then there's something wrong with you. You are crazy. So Pierce, even if that was true, now we know he comes from a conservative Mormon family. Yeah. I don't really care what his political affiliation is. I'm grateful that his father, and a transgender, by the way, who two people on this panel continue to attack, there's a transgender that we should be thanking.
The 2 people on this panel haven't even got a chance to say a word yet. Because
just
letting them talk.
All right, let me bring in the 2 women here. Let me bring in Jillian.
Who they are. We actually don't need to say
don't all talk at once,
They're
please.
showing
Can the 2 men shut up for a moment? Jillian.
There are so many lies here. I don't know which to tackle first. The reality is that we are here because of the very things you guys are doing in this moment. You refuse to engage in any sort of intelligent dialogue or debate. You just name call. We're bigots. We're racist. This is exactly how we got here. This kind of othering, this kind of demonization. If you guys want to have an intelligent conversation about something that I have said, something that Riley has said, or something that Charlie has said, I'm absolutely here for it. But in this moment, you are very clearly showing the world that you are.
All right, Riley.
Can I just?
Yeah, I mean,
Riley
I would
will
just
go
take the
next.
opportunity to do myself for a second, because Brian, what you said is like the most ill-informed thing I've ever heard. Number one, to not an athlete, as if that even matters. Okay, I'm one of the fastest Americans of all time. Can you name me 3 female swimmers?
The reason why I said nobody would
Can you
know
name
who
me
you are.
3 female swimmers? If you're going to talk about how no one knew me, can you name me 3 of the female swimmers? This nation or this
99%
world?
of the country, 99% of the country can't name 3 female swimmers. The only reason why we know who you are is
so why did my ability, which is in the nation and the world really matter when I was anything, the best female athletes, only the best of the best, only those who are gold medals deserve fairness? Is that what make it
saying it?
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to continue on now to say that I have not been a voice.
So you don't want me to? So you don't want me to respond to your question?
This is a recent tweet that I put out that I got a lot of flack for. I said, I serve Christ, not a politician. That
Why
being
won't
said,
Donald Trump release the Epstein files?
We are going to act like the proven harm and abuse of
Because
Epstein
he's in them.
cause never happened. His victims deserve.
He said because he's in them. He snuck that right on it.
So much better than that. There is no line to walk when it comes to sex trafficking, especially of children. So to slander
Riley, may I
me
ask you a question?
and say that I have not been a voice for the Epstein victims is ridiculous.
Okay,
I have been a voice for the
Riley, may I
women
ask
in
you a
Muslim
question?
countries, in Afghanistan, in Yemen, in South Sudan, who are under Sharia law, who don't get to get an education, who don't get to go to the gym, who don't get to go to the doctor. Like, I have been a voice for all these women. So to sit here and act like you know me, number one, is ridiculous and entirely defamatory.
Okay, Riley, can I respond? Okay, Riley.
Now that I'm done.
Understood.
Absolutely.
Let me ask. Okay, so Riley, when Donald Trump bragged about going into teenage girls' locker rooms on the Howard Stern show, are you willing to condemn Donald Trump right now on the program, or the fact that he's a liable sexual abuser and a 34-count felon? He bragged about going into teenage girls' locker rooms. If you care, which I believe you do, by the way, Riley, if you care about young women, are you willing to condemn Donald Trump for going into teenage girls' locker rooms without their permission?
I think any man who violates a woman's privacy, safety, fairness when it comes to athletic competitions is detestable and condemnable. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy.
Hey, Pierce, this is why I bring this up. I'm so glad she said that. She went back to transgenders and she didn't answer my question. So I will try to ask it again.
I said
Riley.
nothing about
Are you willing
transgenders.
to?
It's telling that you insinuate when I'm
You
talking
just said
about
fairness in
fairness,
sports.
that I'm talking about men.
She won't answer the
May I
question.
address the galvanizing that was made by Jillian?
This is the thing. You like to piggyback. You like to piggyback and take detours. That's what white people do. They're just like, it's amazing. This is unlistenable. I you know what? I hear you. I totally hear you. But this is the reason why I said just a few minutes ago, this is the things that you don't do. You don't fall for certain things. This is the reason why I'm playing. This is the reason why I'm playing it. Is this that you don't fall for certain things? You don't fall for the right. You don't fall for the trap for the right. You don't fall for the trap for the left. You stay the course. Stay the course. Just stay the course. You take 2 steps. You take 1 step to the right. Take 1 step to the left. You will become a victim or a martyr or whatever. Just stay the fucking course. That goes for everybody. Anybody in my camp, anybody, it's just, I understand it. This is unwatchable. But guess what? Piers Morgan is who he is because he needs the ratings. He needs the ratings. I think there was an incident that happened, I think like almost a year ago with him and Jay-Z and Beyonce, and somehow what he was supposed to do didn't happen, and he ended up apologizing. See, that's the power that they wield. We have no power at all, because we would literally tell Piers Morgan, if we don't go to their channels, we would literally tell Piers Morgan, screw you. But we got these, oh my God. Can we go? I'm sorry. I'm gonna try. I wish we could stay on schedule, but let me just say something real brief about this queen that is mainly a so-called journalist. I think her name is Ludy Luck. It's a waste of time doing any type of shit on you. It's a waste. Number one, you're very judgmental. Number two, you're right. That's why I backtracked my statement and I went to queer. My bad. Anyway, because there ain't no sugarcoating here. It's straight no chase over here. Like it. Oh well, I don't know what to tell you. Because right now, you fucking it up for me. You're literally fucking it up for me. But here's my point. I want to get off this because you're a non-freaking factor. A journalist, number one, is supposed to get all the facts, truthful facts, not just facts that she just heard from the internet and not even going to the actual source itself. And the actual source is not a person who is filled so full of hatred that she can't stand the sight of the person who she's actually hating without getting the side of it from the person, him or herself. That's not what a journalist does. The last person that did that, I believe his name was Al or something, some dude, was an advocate for, let's just say, the right. Hell, we're going to call it what it is. It's this old shit, AFW shit. Just AFW shit. I mean, you can look this woman up and you can believe her, not believe her, whatever the case may be. But you're going off 10-year-old. Yes, you're going off 10-year-old clips. 10-year-old clips of something that Lennon Honor has basically copied, edited, and pasted, cleaned it up, threw it back at you, and you don't ask no questions of Lennon? You don't ask no questions at all. Basically doxing this man, basically doxing his family, his children, his father, his mother, his grandmother. And you don't say anything? What type of misguided person are you? What type of hypocrite are you? And you have the nerve to call yourself a queen. I live for the day that a real journalist can get the scoop and not go off on a tangent. I don't know any journalist that goes off on a tangent the way that this woman did. It is unacceptable. Unacceptable. You will never be a journalist in my eyes. You will never be a journalist. As a matter of fact, anyone who goes on to that side and becomes this one-sided clearly needs their license. If they have a license, I don't believe this woman has a license or anything. It just needs to be stripped. It just needs to be stripped immediately. Because if you can't get from this one side and you can't ask questions on the other side, it's just totally disingenuous and it's not right. It's not right at all. No, she proclaims to be an independent journalist. Don't do that. Don't do that. She proclaims this. She professed this shit to another person who's a so-called investor or whatever his name is. But it's out of my hands at this point, because until these people get cited these people get sent to court, until these people get sent to court, until they get cited, cease and desist for slander and defamation of character, this is mainly out of my hands. The only thing I can do is see the truth for what it is. I've been following Umar for years. For years. This woman followed Umar for a month. Hell, I'll even give her a couple of months. And yet you came up with this conclusion this quick? The old me would have nearly cussed you out like a long time ago. But I'm just literally I'm gonna move forward from you, because you are not her. You are not her. Whatever happened to being fair? I guess fair is a place where they judge pigs. So you're talking about him doxing. He had to, why the fuck would he want to dox this man? And for what? Nobody never known Umar until he was indoctrinated in the AFW sector, along with another misguided human being, an anti-Afro Bengali who first started this whole shit in the first place. He just ended up picking up the reins, and now all of us, and 15 years later, he has 80,000 subscribers. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. She's pretty funny. Yeah, funny how? Her hairline looked funny, but anyway, it don't make no sense. Why don't you talk to a actual person who has actually had dialogue with Umar? Why don't you talk to a person who has not only met this man, but has interviewed this man not once, but twice? Talk to that person. Oh, it's too much like right, huh? It's too much like right. You know, what she did to when we were talking about young boys and how he's gonna he's going to the campfire and he's gonna do some strange things to young boys. I could, if I had my way, I would literally take you to court for slander. I would. By law, I would literally take you to court. Oh, I know she did. I already know. I've seen the video. I already know she did, but that cat's irrelevant right now because she can't seem to get her story straight either. Just like another person who can't get their story straight. But I'm not going to mention that person because I don't like talking about people's families like that, which you shouldn't either. Not just you, but anybody shouldn't be talking about anybody. Well, what are we doing? We just gonna talk. We just gonna screen people's families now? Is that what we're doing in the Black community? We're just gonna screen people's families. That's what we're doing. We're just gonna take a camera and we're gonna go door to door. And if you are Black, we gonna see inside your house. Oh, I have a great idea. I have a great idea. Why don't we do this? Why don't we host like real life? I'm not talking about this YouTube shit. I'm talking about going out and just revealing everybody's secrets. Just reveal everybody's secrets and watch how Black families just dissipate like that. Oh, so many dirty secrets would come out so fast. But then again, ma'am, your life is so great, right? Your life is so great. Mind your own damn business. Stop talking about his daughter. Stop talking about his mother. You have no place. How you have no goddamn place? Your place is within your family and your lineage or whatever. That's your place, not theirs, not anybody else's. That is your place, not anybody else's. And merely yeah, we're just gonna keep it at that because you're contradicting yourself. And Manny, Manny, I just want to say this: what you need to do, bruh, is get off Tourette's. You need to go ahead and get off your Tourette's. And what I'm gonna do is you are very, very weird, and you are very, very misguided. I understand that your office, your superior officer has done some things to you throughout the years, and while you was doing your thing over there, he's bent you over and did you doggy style with no Vaseline. I understand that, and ever since then you had some Tourette syndrome. I get it. I get all that. But do yourself a favor. Your weird old ass needs to stay away from me. Needs to stay away from me because nobody comments in my comment section more than you do. You really need to stay away from me, my guy. And you need to get in touch with reality. You really need to get in touch with reality. I screenshotted you when you said these words. I will take care of your wife? That's your words. You take care of my wife? Oh, wait, we got the screenshots right here. Hold on. I got the screenshots for you, my guy. You're all about this Christian stuff. Wait a minute, we got the screenshots of you mentioning somebody's wife. Hold on. Mentioning somebody's wife. Now let's see. Oh, right here. It says here, and you were on Rim's channel, Rum TV, and you said these words, my guy. Oh, these are your words, right? I will sleep with your wife, Tunde. So you were talking about Tunde. You weren't talking about my wife. You were talking about Tunde's wife. But you're going to talk to me about morals? You're going to talk to me about the Bible? You're going to talk to me about the Bible? I'll sleep with your wife, Tunde? Oh, shit. How misguided are you, sir? Oh, no. Oh no, we ain't gonna backtrack because these are your words. These are your words. I could send it to you if you like. I can send it to you. These are your words, sir. These are your words. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you did, it's how you said it. It's just how you said it. And when you said it, you meant it. When you said it, you meant it. But moving on from you. There are many different journalists, male and female alike, and they would never pull no bullshit like this. They just won't. But she's going to keep going on, and she's going to keep going on with this this rhetoric and all this other stupid shit. So I'm going to take the time with these last 20 seconds to tell you, back the hell off. Because all you're doing is reviewing old shit like the rest of these Negroes are. You're just reviewing old shit. You have Lenin little dick honor syndrome. That's what these knuckleheads have. And you have Lenin little dick honor syndrome. And it just yells out just sick. It just yells out sick. This is the same man who's been doing this for 16 years, and all of a sudden he has 80,000 subscribers, and you don't ask no questions. You don't ask no questions at all. Should I just come out with clips of my own about Lenin? It's a waste of time because I already did them already. I'm ready to move forward. I'm ready to move fucking forward. Now, with that being said, I got some. We're gonna move forward from this. I'm not gonna entertain this shit any longer with this freaking female. Do better. Do better. That's all I'm gonna say. Do better. What?
We have got the former Republican congressman and the host of the Social Contract, Joe Warner debate, exactly what Charlie would encourage, I think, which is, Joe, you've just heard a very impassioned statement there from Stephen Crowder. What's your...
And how he feels. I really do. And I don't know what my fight is. I don't have a fight with Stephen Crowder. Stephen, good to see you. There was a lot you said about me there in the intro. I don't remember because I'm getting older. I wish I'd written down some of it. I did my best for the past week because I knew Charlie as well, not to say that this guy was a right wing. He came from a God-fearing gun Utah family. He was definitely right, like some on the left did. I didn't know who he was until we had the facts and the evidence. And it's clear, Pierce and Stephen, that this was a... I had
the facts and the evidence. And I told you he was on the left from the bullet engravings that we received from a leak. And you said we were wrong. People on the left said wrong. And it matters because the shoe's still out there and so is the Kirk family. I'm trying to save lives.
Stephen,
you just save lives, Joe?
Maybe some people did. I don't know when I ever said you were wrong anywhere. When this is the first time I've talked to you, or even
we don't know. We know he's from a white family in Utah, and you retweeted people, and you went out and said this guy is not a left-wing extremist. He is. Okay, go ahead. You did say that,
my friend. From the moment Charlie Kirk was assassinated, I said we don't know who did it. And once we found out who did it, we don't know why he did it. So let's all wait to figure out why he did it.
We did
yesterday.
Stephen. And I remember you saying that he sold his soul to Trump before the body was cold, and criticizing his wife.
Stephen, let me finish, brother, please. And then we find out in no uncertain terms, by the way, Pierce, which I think all of us could have guessed, this was a political assassination. This 22-year-old young man hated Charlie Kirk, and so he picked up that gun and he shot him. Clearly, and as you've said, Pierce, it's clear that of late he had become radicalized with leftist ideology. There, now we know it. This will go down in history as an act of left-wing political violence. Yes.
I mean, I would say, Stephen, that is an honest statement there from Joe. But
it's not.
Yeah, but is it honest on your side, Stephen? Be honest. Is it honest to say there is no problem with violence on the political right? Because there has been historically a lot of violence associated with the far right in America. That, again, is just a demonstrable fact. To pretend there's never been any is to be disingenuous, isn't it?
By what? No, it's not to be disingenuous. It's absolutely correct. And I understand because I've seen Joe and people of his ilk retweeting these out there. It either comes from Cato Institute or it comes from a recent Economist article. I can tell you how all of those numbers are wrong. Remember the man in Portland? Remember Aaron Danielson, who was shot dead point blank by an Antifa member? Michael Reinhold, who said, we got a Trump supporter, bang, bang, dead. That wasn't listed as political violence. Look at that chart. The year 2020, the summer of love, no political violence from the left. I could go through the methodology, and I have brilliant researchers who have. It is demonstrably untrue. No one is saying there is no violence on the right. What I am saying is that people on the right have to have armed security, flak jackets, an entire strategy when they go out, and those on the left don't. That is verifiably true. What is dishonest is to say we didn't know. You know what else wouldn't have been included in these crime stats? And anyone want to make this argument? You're talking to the wrong guy. The high school shooting. Audrey Hale said we included it because it was borderline, even though the police said they were politically motivated. If not for the undercover journalism unit of a comedy show right here, no one would have known that motivation. We found it, we leaked it, we processed it, we verified it, and we were met with resistance and threats of lawsuits from the local police department, the mayor, and the FBI. They said it was a lie on the outset, just like they said the engravings on the bullet casings were a lie on the outset. The left lies. They label you fascist. They label you a totalitarian. And how do you deal with those people? Well, you don't do it at the ballot box. We all know that.
It's not just how the news is told, but what's left out, which concerns me. And when a friend of business recommended I choose news, I gave it a go. But I
timed him out because he acted like a freaking weirdo. I didn't block him. I just timed him out. All right. Your boy is welcome here anytime. They just wanted to time his ass out. I don't block I don't block anybody anymore because it's useless. Because they have multiple pages. So you come up here with some slick shit like he did the other day, you're gonna get it timed out. So I don't have the right to time him out. We want to hear from your wife. My wife doesn't do YouTube. Why don't we hear from yours instead? Are you black or are you white? Are you male or are you female? Morals. Talk about morals and respect. You don't have morals and respect for yourselves. You just don't. Talking about the what was it called again? We talk about the nuclear family. I'm 3 clicks away from saying fuck the nuclear family because you don't dedicate yourself to the nuclear family. You have morals and ethics that you clearly don't abide by. This is not about me. This is not about me. This is about Umar. I'm proud. Me. No! Why you keep including yourself? Why do you keep including yourself? And oh, by the way, since you spoke up, why are you over there by the help? Why did I catch you over there by the help? Why are you over there by the help? Are you? Oh, okay. I'm just checking. Just checking. Breaking up happy homes, and you breaking up your happy home. I'm still married. I don't know what you're talking about. As a matter of fact, I just celebrated my 16th anniversary. And it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. Man, we went to Red Lobster. We had shrimp and steak. we had a whole bunch. I love her channel completely. Disagree with about Umar. Completely. You will catch me on all anti-Umar channels, but at least you're consistent. I will say that you are very, very consistent. So I will give you that. You are very, very, very consistent. You are very, very consistent. So I will give you kudos for that. I will give you kudos.
You're pro First Amendment violence because you're inciting violence. You're pro Second Amendment violence because you believe people should be able to.
You have a wrench in the first place.
Gun violence. And then if we remain silent, that's also violence. And so people deal with the right with violence. Here's my challenge. Find me one example of a Charlie Kirk on the left, not an elected official. I'll allow any speaker, any comedian this century, one example of somebody who was murdered, assassinated, hemorrhaged out in front of his family in cold blood and gleefully celebrated thereafter. And the polls show that a majority, according to YouGov recently, of Democrats think it's somewhat too acceptable. 38%, 77% of Republicans said not acceptable at all.
Okay, let Joe
What I'm
respond.
saying is that Charlie Kirk was hunted. He was hunted. We are being hunted, and I don't want to see any more dead friends. Violence, absolutely. Lawful, ruthless, defensive violence.
Okay, Joe.
Pierce, I'll just be brief again. The data is pretty clear, and historically it's been pretty clear that there's political violence on the right and the left in this country for years. And I could argue, and I would argue, but I won't hear that there's historically been more political violence coming from the right. But suffice to say, I think you and I, Pierce, would agree, there's a history of, hey, Stephen, let me finish, man.
Please argue it. You can't just make a vague claim and not substantiate it.
Pierce, you and I would agree, for the sake of this conversation, that political violence is in fact a both sides problem. Stephen, you would acknowledge, I think, that there is political violence and there has been political violence on the right as well. So why don't we all just condemn it all? That's what we all should do.
Yeah. Steve? No, I don't. I don't agree with the premise. And I'm having to agree with a nebulous premise because you presented no facts. The very source that you cite, and by the way, I'll make all of mine publicly available. Hold on, I'm finishing now. Let's do it like grown-ups. You can cite your sources online. George Floyd riots, not included. Darrell Brooks, Waukesha, not included. Antifa, not included. Man shot dead for voting Trump, not included. Those not trust. There is someone question answer. Go.
No, it has nothing to do. That has nothing to do with anything. That's just a bunch of word salad. What she is doing, I'm gonna explain to you what she's doing. She's not doing what a journalist, a supposed alleged journalist or whatever. You don't come and be a one-sided person. You don't do that. She is very, very one-sided. If she didn't claim to be that, I would have never said anything. But you're going to claim to be this person. That's like putting a story out there that an innocent man who has done something for the Black community, but you find one thing wrong with him and you're going to run with it. You're going to straight run with it, and that's just not fair. That's not right. If you're going to come with it, come with all the facts. I want all the pieces. All the pieces. I want all the pieces, all the facts. You did the same shit to Martin Luther King Jr. Same shit.
Democratic state legislator in the last 3 months ago, gun on by, yes or no?
Wrong. because Vance Bolter, who did it, is nothing to do with Trump or pro-life. Walls. You also don't see. Did you see any
question? Have you talked to this man? Have any of you picked up the phone and spoken to Umar? Have any of you picked up the phone and spoken to Umar? Have any of you has seen him in a lecture that he has done and spoken to him? No, you haven't. Have you interviewed this man before? No, haven't. I have. Have you been around? Have you shook in his hand? Have you tried to bitch slap him or whatever? No, you haven't. You haven't been. So what is it that what you know is what's on the internet? You don't know what this man is doing in his everyday life. You don't know what he's doing with his mother. You don't know shit from Shinola. You don't know what he is doing for his kids, with his kids, if he has seen his kids or not. This is the reason why he doesn't share shit on the internet, but he is forced to share shit on the internet. Fact of the matter is, you don't know enough about him or his family. Even his own father even though they don't get along, he has at one point defended his son. Yeah, he does not get along with his father, not very much. But the one thing that he will do is respect his dad. He will respect his dad. They don't have to get along, but he does respect his father. That's what you don't know. And that's what's so condemning about this. You listen to one person, you listen to one male spread all these vicious lies by editing a tape. Editing. Not even putting the whole thing out there. You are condemning that. You are. And it's very, very sad that you don't listen to the whole tape. You just copy, screw it, and it is what it is. He's been to Philadelphia. What the hell are you talking about? He's been back and forth to Philadelphia. What the fuck is you talking about? Don't know. That's the thing that I'm talking about. You don't know shit.
At the Hortman's funerals or vigils, spitting on them, or pantomiming, being shot in the neck. Did you see anyone celebrating the death of them gleefully?
Yes.
Did you see any professors spitting at their vigil? Let me guess. You're going to go to Mike Lee?
Utah Senator.
I predict
Mike
everything
Lee
you say all the time. Ow.
Donald Trump.
He didn't mock the attack.
But let me jump in.
Anyone spit at the
Stephen,
vigil?
let me jump in.
Celebrate the
Stephen,
murder?
let me give you an example.
Pierce, I don't.
No, hang on.
Go ahead.
Hang on. I would give an example where the right behaved very badly, and that was over the attack of Nancy Pelosi's home. I saw the gleeful responses after that from the right, the memes, the mockery, and so on. I thought that was very disturbing.
You haven't met any of these people on the panel with Piers Morgan, but you have an opinion. Actually, I've met Lucas. No, but you know what? You're right. You're absolutely, positively right. Because you're right. People have their own opinions, and you are absolutely, positively correct. They do have their opinions. But when that opinion becomes truth in their eyes, without facts, without 100% facts, that's a problem. So yes, you are right. You do have your opinions. But if you haven't met them and they show you proof of, let's just say, for example, their degrees. Umar has 6. I looked this up, and it rings absolutely true. True in facts. You can Google his degrees. It's facts. Anybody can Google his degrees. Anybody can Google what school he went to. And it's quite weird. And you have to go about following, screening. Oh, and by the way, he does have an extra channel. It's called King Kong Consciousness. Lennon has another channel. It's called King Kong Consciousness. That's why they call him the boogeyman for a reason. Why are you so anxious after 16 long years? 16 years. And we have the proof. We have the actual proof. 16 years, you are following a man that you have never met. Lennon has never met this man. Ever. Ever. And it's acceptable for him doing what he is doing. I've met many of people who have lied to my face. What did he lie about? What did he lie about? No. And you know why? You know why it's not his channel? A friend of mine from the Umar sector gave this to me. Put this to my attention. Just in case his channel got shut down, because he didn't do shit for a while. He put up another channel. Didn't even do any comments, really. He just put up videos. Video after video after video after video. You know who else did that? The person that he was working with. But she doesn't do videos of Umar hardly ever anymore. You don't find that weird? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? And he's never met the man before. Never. He has never met the man before. And plenty of people come out with these stupid ass numbers. He's been getting donations since 2005, 2008, 2009. He wasn't even thinking about a school then. And even if he was, I ask this question all the time. I ask this question all the time. What school did he have in 2013? What was the name of the school? Can you tell me what the name of the school was? I'm gonna ask Ghostface since he keeps commenting in the chat. What school did Umar Ifi have in 2013? I'll wait.
Tasteful. Would you agree, Steve?
If you want to argue an equivalency between a man getting
I'm not
hit with a
asking
hammer in his underwear,
I'm not saying equivalent.
Man leading out of his child.
I'm not saying.
As a matter of fact, hold on. As a matter of fact, we're gonna make this school he had in 2013. I am going to be fair. I'm just going to time you out. I'm gonna time you out for 24 hours. What school you have 20 seconds? That's being graceful. You have 20 seconds to tell me Jermaine Shoemake, aka Umar Johnson, aka Umar Abdullah Johnson, aka Ifa Tunde Oguntade, aka Big Pop, aka this, aka that, whoever. You have 20 seconds to tell me In 2013, what school did he have? What was the name of the school? Do 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 do. Do 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 do. 10 seconds. I don't give a fuck about the taxes. You ain't paying on them taxes. Why are you worried about it? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Was I fair, Barbie? Was I fair? Was I fair? Just let me know. Was I fair? I asked a specific question. I asked, what school did Umar purchase with money in 2013? What did he purchase? See, man, he's back. I didn't let him go. He's back. Well, Jesus, people think I'm that man. Come on, he's back. He's back in the chat. He's back in the chat. Talking about you got rid of him. No, I didn't. He's right there. He's back in the chat. He's back in the chat chilling. So now I'm going to ask you, Manny, what school, since everybody said that he had purchased the school or he had a school in 2013, what school did he purchase in 2013? Now, I'm going to give him 25 seconds. I'm going to give him 25 seconds and I'm going to go bye-bye. He's going bye-bye. 25 seconds. 25 seconds. I don't even know what that means. See, Barbie, they said I got rid of him. He's right there. Isn't he right there? So I'm not fair. I'm not a fair person. 25 seconds. I want to know what school did Umar Johnson purchase in 2013? What school? What school? Let's go.
They're equivocal. I'm just saying it's an example where I felt people on the right showed a complete lack of humanity towards the man who'd been attacked because he happened to be married to Nancy Pelosi, a political opponent. And so that it's not like this never. It's not like this has never happened.
I don't agree. Let me ask a question here. This is why I'm giving this message. And this is why I hope people listen and protect their own. Joe Walsh, there. To answer the question. You're there. You.
Oh, see, now I'm going to take this with a grain of salt. He said, Jermaine has not bought any school. Not in 2013? He didn't buy one in 2013? He didn't do it? I didn't. I said I was fair. I said I'm not gonna buy anybody anymore. No, hold my word. You can hold my word. All I did was time him out. That's all I did. For saying some slick shit. That's all I did. That's all I did. He does not have a school ever. So let me see. 2013 school. Oh, he doesn't have a school in Wilmington, Delaware. He doesn't have a school in Wilmington. That's not his school. So the contract, the blueprints, the key. How was he able to get in? How was he able to get in to his school that he has basically repaired for the last 5.5, 6 years? So how is he able to repair this school that he's had for 6 years? How is he able to do that? Get out of your feelings and answer that question. How is he able to do that? You're not even supposed to have. You're not supposed to be in that building with repairing that building without contracts. So, can you show the proof? Can you show proof? Can you show facts that he does not have a school? See, Barbie, this is what I deal with. And each time I ask the question, they can't answer it. They just simply can't answer it. You just simply can't answer it. The city of Wilmington Clark accounts has all the proof on the website. The city of Wilmington proof on the website. He's paid. The city of Wilmington came out and said that he has satisfied them. No, the city of Wilmington, I gave you the name. I believe his name is Danny Wright or something like that. I believe he's the chief executive of Wilmington. He came out. And if you don't believe me, you can go on Jay Witt's page. JWHIT. You can go on this nigga's page and he can tell you outright, and he's not an Umar supporter. He can tell you that the city of Wilmington that Umar has already satisfied the bill. He already satisfied, which means he made the payment. He even said it on Baba's. He even said it on Baba's podcast. See, he ain't listening. He's not even listening. He's not even listening. Not even listening. Okay. But I'm based on proving. Hey, Dorothy, how you doing? Let's continue.
But it's a man winding up a milkshake for chocolate, vanilla, acid, or concrete. Do you stop him? Do you hurt him? That hesitation tells me that you are not amongst us.
Hey,
and cowards are dangerous to have in their ranks.
Stephen?
Because it's not a hypothetical, it's happened.
Let me answer your question.
Do you stop him? Do you hurt him?
Question. I'm sorry.
Someone whining milkshake.
Do all I can to stop him. Yes.
Good. There's a start. That's what I'm advocating. Every single person out there, because we have been living with this shadow over us. And I know, look, here's the thing too, Joe. I understand your rhetoric. I understand where you're coming from. And I know you met Charlie in it, right? He was very, very young. And I understand that maybe you were a mentor figure. It's because of you that me and Charlie are willing to take territory that has been ceded. We are with Charlie Kirk shouldn't be out there alone, sitting in that chair, taking on all comers. He shouldn't be inspired by people like me, comedians. He should have been inspired by people like you. Instead, he was inspired to go the other way. Maybe that's why he said he sold his soul for Donald Trump before the body was.
Yes, of course. As a matter of fact, he's been answering those questions verbatim. And he's answered those questions. Now, whether you believe him or not, he showing paperwork, showing not consistency. What was it? Being transparent. I think he's been transparent enough. He has shown throughout the 5.5 years, I would say, the 5.5 years that he has shown transparency due to a whole bunch of stuff that I've mentioned. It's exhausting to mention these things when it comes to let's just get this big thing out the way, the HVAC. Back taxes in 2009. He didn't have he didn't have the property in 2009. He had no property. This is the thing that I'm talking about. You need to stop listening. You need to stop listening to the help. You really do. Because you're really paranoid. You are really, really paranoid. He had not a thing. And he had just graduated. What? Not Mills University. There's a university he went to. He had just graduated in 97. He just graduated in 97. Then he I think he was like a vice principal or something, somewhere around 03, 04. He wasn't even thinking about a school then. See, this is wrong. And this is sick. This is so sick. But because his father sent him into the military, and he has a military mindset, which could be boys. It's just quite sickening. It's sick. It's sick. It's sick to think that you can't have a military mindset for boys who are killing other boys in the street. That's sick. That's sick, sad, and disgusting. It shouldn't. Well, let me put it this way. It's exhausting because when Umar did it, he did it throughout the years, the tender that he started raising money in 2014. The question after question after question after, it's the same questions. The same question. Some people switch it up. Some people switch it up. Some people don't. Right? And then when he gets a little hostile with some people, they tend to like, oh, he's not for the community. He's not for the community because he won't let me speak, or he yelled at me, or he called me a bigot, or he called me a racist. This is clear-cut case of we don't want anything, really. Because at least he's trying his best. You don't have to fight his battles. I'm not fighting his battles. Oh, wait. Who said it? Wait, hold the phone. Hold the phone. Stop. Wait. You're saying that I'm fighting his battles. I'm just fighting the truth. I'm not fighting his battles. To fight his battles is to take a picket sign or something. It is to go up on the internet and go on each and every single platform and defend him with all your might. I don't do that. I don't do that. There's criticism where criticism is. I often tell people when it comes to business, on the business aspect of it, no, he ain't got it. He has not got it. But at the same time, he hasn't had any room to fail yet. When it comes to his family, and I'm just going to say family, there needs to be a better system at place. We're just going to have to just cut all the bullshit to the side and become one family again. But due to the fact that this one person This one, I'm just gonna give you to 100%, Barbie. You can take it however you want. This broad, this evil broad that came into his life did not want anything to do with this man. Did not want anything to do with this man, but all of a sudden you wanted to set some things up for him, wanted to take care of his mother. You didn't have to take care of his mom. You didn't have to do that. A normal person would have said, nah, I'm good. But you volunteered for that. And look what happened to you. Look what happened to you. Now she's a woman scorned. And it's whatever. Lose my channel. How am I lose my channel? But these are issues between Umar and those people. Right, but we're supporters. You can't tell a supporter what to do. You put it this way. You can't tell a supporter to stop supporting. You can't tell a supporter to stop supporting. You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't. That's like saying telling Trump supporters stop supporting Trump. You're not going to do it. It's just not great. It is great. To fight his battle is to disrupt people's lives. Disrupt. What are you? Do you do? Can I ask you a question? Do you do panels? Because I want to know what this means. To fight his battles is to disrupt people's lives on YouTube? Really? You want to come up? Oh, I'm about to say. It's like, yes, no. You said yes. Oh, you want to come up? Here's the link. Go ahead. Come up. Come up for a second. You don't even have to cut your camera on. You don't even have to cut your camera on. Yeah, because she was talking some bullshit. I'm like, T.I., you was talking some bullshit. I didn't say anything crazy. I didn't say anything wild. I was just putting it, and she came after me. Where's your bleeding heart for me? She the one that came after me. I was just spitting facts. She's going off. She's going off on some 10-year-old tangent. She was in his life for 3 years. Yeah, but that's what he gets. That's what I said it before and I'll say it again. Stop messing with these goofies. Until it's bad enough that they still say that he had sexual relations with Suki Hana. Suki Hana's got more respect. Even, this is far-fetched. Let me be careful with my words. Suki Hana's she's a hoe. But she doesn't have whole tended, well, not whole tended, what I say, really bad. She's a hoe, but she's a hoe with respect. Does that sound? She's a hoe, but she's a hoe with respect. She would never do that, especially with Umar. She would never do that. Just because they took a couple of pictures. Ooh. I wish I could take pictures with Sanaya Lathan, but I'm married. Hell, I'll still take pictures with Sanaya Lathan. I would take pictures with Sanaya fucking Lathan. What the fuck are you talking about, girl? What are you talking about? She's a tiny woman. She hurt. She's a tiny woman. She's a tiny woman. So what would you like for me to do? Would you like for me to cease? Would you like for me to stop all bullying, which I know you would call it? So you just support your girl. Is that it? You want me to stop the bullying, which she's doing the bullying, by the way, but you want me to stop the bullying? I gotta find the remote. The game is on. I gotta find a freaking remote. If you want me to stop the bullying, I'll stop. If you want me to stop the bullying, I'll stop. Just give me a 1 if you want me to stop the bullying. Give me a 2 if you want me to continue the slaughter. Stop bullying her and all women. I don't bully all women. How am I bullying all women? You're here. You're a woman. Bridget's a woman. She's always here. She's always welcome. She's always here. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. I guess I meant all non-supporters. Oh, okay. I will stop bullying. I will stop bullying. I'm not gonna even shadow watch her. Well, I might shadow her, but I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna comment. I'm not gonna do anything. Will that satisfy you? Will that satisfy you? I just want to hear from you. Hear from you. Is that gonna satisfy you? We-On-Loc is acknowledging that he will not bully Lucky, what was her name? Lucky Lady anymore. Just post videos to counter what they say. It will. Thank you. Okay, I will do that. Since you asked, I will do it. I will do it. I'm not promising anything. All I'm saying is I will give you my word that I will not do it anymore. Now, can we get back to our regular scheduled program? Okay. All right. Since we got that out the way. Cool.
Cold. Still want to do the no true Scotsman holier than thou thing?
And Stephen, I'm assuming you would do the same, correct? If somebody were throwing a chocolate milkshake at a correct?
No, the reason I bring it up is because we didn't. We didn't,
but
and I've had them launched at me.
Would you, Stephen?
And the reason,
would you?
No, I didn't,
Would you?
And now I would. Now
would
I would.
You?
Because now I would. Yes, I answered your question. Now I'm going to
add Stephen, common ground. You Americans would both stop any politically violent attack on any public figure or speaker that we saw. You and I agree to that. And you and I hope, would both agree that we should condemn all political violence. End of story.
I am condemning, of course, all political violence. It is coming from one side, and the prescription is ruthless.
They won't even acknowledge it. They won't even acknowledge that it's both sides, even though there's a bigger play to this. There's a bigger play to this. They ain't acknowledging both sides need to come together. It's not going to happen. It's not. It is not. It is a war from here on in.
Ruthless, aggressive, defensive, lawful violence on anyone who tries. If someone behaves in a way, for example, I've been sucker punched, I've been collar dragged, I've had attempts on my life, I have been doxxed. If anyone behaves in a way, you. Way where if they behave that way at a town hall, at a restaurant, you with your family would result in their severe ass beating, they deserve it at a political rally. They deserve it at a private function. And speaking and the not been doing that because they've been taking the road and the left is its impunity. That's why you see professors. It's not just a show on repeat. Psychopaths, by the way, that do it. It's that so many professors are doing it because they don't fear any ramifications. You can't find that on the right. Find me one example of a Charlie Kirk, not an elected official, anyone else to do the same, who lost.
And I also
his life.
Today getting quite emotional as he talked about the difference, for example, between the reaction to the murder of George Floyd, which I thought was despicable, and the murder of Charlie Kirk, which was despicable, is that one precipitated nationwide rioting and lawlessness as people were so enraged they took to the streets, and the other took to people going to church. You know,
also. Call me when Charlie Kirk died with a speed. He mugged a woman with his toddler in the house.
I thought it was an interesting.
George Floyd hurt people.
I thought it was an interesting observation, Joe, in terms of the difference.
No, and I appreciate that, Pierce. Let me sneak in one more thing before Stephen goes off. Also, the assassination of Democratic Melissa Hortman in Minnesota by an anti-abortion Trump supporter.
By the way, if you see a Dwayne, tell him I'm looking for him. Tell him I'm looking for him. In all respect, I'm looking for him. Tell him to come on the channel. Challenge me. If he has the balls to do it, tell him to come challenge me. His name is Malik Muhammad. If he has the balls enough, come challenge me. He won't do it. And he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it. A long time ago, like, share, subscribe channel, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. A long time ago, I went to Mr. Let Go's channel, and I got up on the platform because they happened to talk about Umar at the time. Before I can even say 2 words, I was disrespected by this man. I was disrespected by this chump, Malik Muhammad. Of course, Manny knows he was up there glazing this nigga. So he was up there telling his opinions about Umar. Of course, everybody has an opinion. I haven't said a word. I didn't say 2 words. He blatantly just disrespected me. Blatantly. Then, of course, I have to give credit to Mr. Let Go. He did tell him, you know, chill out, relax. Let him say what he has to say. Because he doesn't know me. Just because I'm a supporter. See, that's the problem. This is the reason why supporters of Umar are silent. Because they don't want to go into this idiotic bullshit that you end up doing on the internet all the time. And that's bigger back and forth. If you want clicks, my nigga, get it how you get it. But we are not interested. We could care less. You do this exact same thing. You do this exact same thing to Philly Phil. And that's a female. You do this exact same thing to Philly Phil, and she's a freaking female. How does that make you feel as a female to go after another female? I'm not saying you, but I'm saying how does it feel for a female to go after another female who was a supporter of Umar? Just because he supports Umar. So we're supposed to stop because you're into your feelings. Not smart.
Brother.
Man who blamed Tim Walz. Truth matters. Truth. Dishonesty foments violence, Joe.
After a Democrat was assassinated in Minnesota, you also did not see the Democratic Party and the left declaring a war on the right, saying that they did it. They did it. The evildoer.
Oh, I know I keep pausing this shit, but question, Barbie. I have a question. Are you a member of the We-On-Loc News Journal? You giving this woman, man, why don't you give me a membership? I don't cost that much. Why don't you give me a membership? I am not. Why not?
Did it. This is a battle between good and evil. You didn't hear any of that when a Democrat was assassinated. We should any celebrating Chuck Kirk's murder, condemn it, and we should condemn any for some declare some war on half of the country. And this is a battle between good and evil. Both of those reactions are dangerous and despicable.
Final words.
Wrong. Yeah, wrong. Charlie Kirk has sold the body cold. I agree with action. Lies foment dishonor without security, as they often do. I just want them to be deathly afraid to try what they've been doing with the right for a very long, forevermore going forward. But if we talk about this, hey, there's one time that there weren't right. Yeah, what about all the times that there were and they weren't registered crime? Charlie Kirk didn't hurt anybody. George Floyd is very, very different from George. Honestly, what foments time were the people who are actually evil are willing to paint a war of good and evil. Because you know what? If it ever comes to that, God forbid, maybe the people advocating for abortion up until and including birth and genital mutilation for children, including hiding them from their parents in the state of Minnesota, maybe they could look around at themselves and say, hey, if this is a war of good and evil, maybe we're the bad guys.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you.
All right. Despite the fact that part of the live got railroaded by Umar rhetoric, I want to encourage everybody to, I want to inform everybody to be careful, just in case this so-called race war is to pop off. I want to just advise people, just be careful. Be careful. If you have to pack for safety precautions, do so. You heard it earlier on ago that yeah, they're ready for you. Believe it or not, they are ready for you. I don't know how well prepared we are, which I'm going to be honest with you, we're not. We are not prepared. We have 7-year-olds that are being taught how to shoot a gun. Pew pew, or whatever you call it. We have 7-year-old white boys who are being taught by their fathers to learn how to shoot. And there are some black fathers who, there's a minority versus the majority of black fathers versus white fathers who has dedicated their lives. You don't believe me? Ask Dylan Roof. Ask Dylan Roof. Ask the murder victim of what was his name? The one that I forgot his name. The one that Carmelo Anthony defended himself against. Carmelo Anthony, not the basketball player, but the track star from Texas. Metcalf, one of the Metcalf brothers got. Self-defense. We have We aren't prepared. What you need to get, it. Because I'm telling you right now, whether you love it, like it, hate it, it doesn't matter. You're on YouTube arguing the same, uttering stupid ass nonsense. It's time to cut this shit. It's time to start getting real here. Your life, your family's lives could be in danger. Mind your P's and Q's, mind your business, and be prepared. Because if something were to go down, the police are not going to be looking to protect you. And you can forget about the court of public opinion, because this is a court of public opinion. They will say, why didn't you have a bleeding heart for Charlie Kirk? And what Steven Crowder just announced earlier ago, saying these words, I'm looking to go to war, paraphrasing. I'm looking to go to war. And there are plenty of people. You can go on TikTok. If you don't believe me, you don't have to believe me, but you can just go on TikTok and you can just research all that stuff. It's there. They are ready for war. Okay, but you're just one person. Man, seriously, you need to think. You just one freaking person. Whatever happened to that dude that was an ex-police officer that I think shot another police officer and ended up bunkered? He was bunkered up tight. He had them things on him. He was bunkered up tight in his own house. It took 400 police officers to just literally kill this dude. I forgot what his freaking name was too. Unless you're a marksman, which I don't doubt that you are. But guess what? For your marksmen, there are 3 white men who are marksmen. For every one of you, there are 3 of them. That's how bad it is. Excuse me, my father was never in the military. My grandfather was, and my great-grandfather was. My father was never in the military. We don't advocate going into white men's military, because it ain't for you. It's for them. Why would you fight for a country that doesn't have your best interests at heart? Shows what you know, but you served in the military, and I respect it. So, with that being said, I'm gonna go eat some pizza, watch this game. Thank you for the support, whether you like it, love it, hate it. You listen to me, and you listen to me with this content. Peace and one love.